Imagine waking up 10,000 years ago. You step outside your small mud house and find a strange animal quietly watching you from the shadows. It isn't a wolf, it isn't a dog, it's a wildcat. Unlike dogs, you never tried to hunt with it. You never captured its babies. You never trained it. Yet somehow, that mysterious predator would become one of humanity's closest companions. But here's the strangest part. What if humans never actually domesticated cats? What if cats domesticated themselves? To understand this incredible story, we need to travel back nearly 10,000 years to one of the biggest turning points in human history. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. We followed animals, collected wild plants, and rarely stayed in one place for long. But everything changed when humans discovered farming. Instead of constantly moving, people began building permanent villages. They planted wheat, stored grain, and prepared for the future. It was one of the greatest inventions in history, but it also created a problem no one expected. Where there's stored grain, there are mice. Within months, human settlements became the perfect home for thousands of hungry rodents. They destroyed food supplies, spread disease, and multiplied faster than people could stop them. Then, another animal noticed something. Not the humans, the mice. African wildcats, the ancestors of today's house cats, began quietly approaching these villages, not because they wanted to be friends with humans, not because humans invited them. They came for one reason: food. A village filled with mice was the perfect hunting ground. At first, people were probably cautious. A wildcat was fast, silent, and impossible to control. But something interesting happened. The cats hunted the mice disappeared, and suddenly, humans had fewer pests destroying their precious grain. Without realizing it, both species were helping each other. The cats got an endless supply of food. Humans got free pest control. No training, no commands, no cages. Just two completely different species, accidentally solving each other's problems. This is why scientists believe cats followed a very different path from dogs. Dogs became partners through active cooperation. Cats became partners through opportunity. Generation after generation, the least aggressive wildcats stayed closer to humans. The most fearful cats ran away. The calmest cats survived, had kittens, and passed their behavior to the next generation. Slowly, almost invisibly, wildcats began changing, not because humans forced them to, but because evolution rewarded the ones that could tolerate human life. Thousands of years passed, and the distance between humans and cats grew smaller than ever before. Then archaeologists made a discovery that proved this relationship was already something far more than simple hunting. That discovery wasn't made in Egypt or Mesopotamia. It was made on the Mediterranean island of Cyprus. Around 9,500 years ago, someone carefully buried a human with a cat lying beside them. This wasn't an accident. Cats aren't native to Cyprus. The only way a cat could have reached the island was if humans had deliberately brought it with them by boat. That single grave changed everything. It proved cats were already important enough to travel with humans across the sea. They weren't just wild animals wandering near villages anymore. They had become trusted companions. Thousands of years later, another civilization would take this relationship even further. Ancient Egypt. Here, cats weren't simply tolerated, They were admired, respected, even protected by law. Killing a cat even by accident could bring severe punishment. The reason wasn't superstition alone. Egypt depended on massive grain stores to feed millions of people, and those grain stores attracted enormous numbers of rats and mice. Cats became the silent guardians of an entire civilization. Without them, food was at risk. So protecting cats meant protecting the nation itself. Over thousands of years, cats spread alongside humans across Europe, Asia, and eventually the rest of the world. But here's something fascinating. Look at a modern house cat. Now compare it with an African wildcat. They're almost identical. Unlike dogs, cats changed very little during domestication. Dogs became hundreds of different breeds because humans selectively bred them for hunting, guarding, herding, or companionship. Cats never experienced that kind of intense selective breeding for most of their history. They stayed hunters, independent, quiet. Even today, your pet cat still behaves remarkably like its wild ancestors. It stalks, it pounces, it marks territory, it sleeps during the day, and suddenly races around your house at night. Those aren't strange habits. They're echoes of a predator that evolved long before humans built cities. And maybe that's why living with cats feels so different from living with dogs. Dogs evolved to understand human commands. Cats evolved to live beside humans without completely depending on them. In many ways, they never stopped being wild. So, did humans really create cats? Not exactly. The truth is far more interesting. Humans created villages. Villages attracted mice. Mice attracted wildcats. And wildcats slowly chose to stay. For nearly 10,000 years, that quiet partnership has continued. Today, more than 600 million cats live alongside humans across the world. Yet deep inside, they're still hunters, still independent, still carrying the instincts of the wildcats that first walked into ancient villages, looking for an easy meal. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't how humans domesticated cats. It's how one small predator managed to domesticate us just enough to earn a warm bed, free food, and millions of people willing to serve it every single day. Maybe cats didn't become human pets. Maybe humans became cat owners. And that might be the smartest survival strategy any animal has ever invented. Thanks for watching.